Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Junaid Saleem to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Junaid Saleem's words. Dear viewers, for the past 12 to 13 days, the firewall has once again, after a brief pause, come down upon us with full intensity, and our reach has been drastically limited. As I've said before, there's no cure for this. The only solution is that you stand with us as comrades, share our message with as many people as possible, subscribe, comment, and as they say, click the bell icon. That's really all I know how to say. If you believe this is the voice of truth, please make every effort to spread it. Today we will talk about the constantly changing situation in the Iran-Israel war. The United States has ultimately decided to participate in the war. The announcement is pending, but there are fears that the US might launch a major strike on Iran at any moment. We'll also discuss the implications of Field Marshal Asim Munir's meeting with Donald Trump. Two key cases are being heard by the Supreme Court's constitutional benches. In the reserved seats case, Barrister Salman Akram Raja has conclusively presented his argument from all constitutional, legal and ethical perspectives. Also, the Punjab budget documents have exposed the truth behind claims of austerity. We'll talk about that too. But obviously first, we must talk about war. 6 days have passed since the Iran-Israel war began. Although Iran has suffered significant damage, the fact remains that the damage Iran has inflicted on Israel has shocked the world. For the first time, Israeli leadership appears visibly embarrassed and frightened. Israel's most powerful defense, the Iron Dome, has collapsed like a deck of cards. Iran claims to have full control over Israeli airspace. Even the US is being forced to acknowledge that Israel's defense system can only function for a few more days. If Israel is not rescued soon, its security will face extreme danger. And viewers, Israel's security has always been more important to the US than even global security, some say even more than its own. The US claims that since the war began, Iran has launched over 400 ballistic missiles at Israel. Iran has targeted the Mossad headquarters, Haifa's oil refinery and power centers, effectively making Israel scream in pain. Iran specifically targeted Haifa, causing major companies like Microsoft and Intel to shut down their offices there. Israelis are so terrified they've hidden in bunkers, and even there, they don't feel safe. Many are choosing to flee by boat. According to independent sources, only 10% of Iran's missiles have hit their targets. Yet the impact has been massive. BBC and other international media report that such fear has never been seen in Israel before. Iran has claimed for the first time that it has used hypersonic missiles. As Israel continues to suffer in the war, the likelihood and fear of US intervention is increasing. Trump has declared that America's patience has run out. He said, "We know very well where Iran's supreme leader is hiding, and he's an easy target, but for now he is safe." Trump deliberately used the phrase, "for now," implying that they could target him too. However, credible sources say Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, is completely out of US and Israeli reach. He is not an accessible target. Remember, Trump had campaigned on getting America out of wars and improving the economy. But now, having returned to power, he has dragged America into a potentially more devastating war than any previous one. The US has ordered its oldest naval fleet, set to be retired next year, toward the Persian Gulf. A 1-hour, 20-minute emergency meeting was held at the White House under the president's supervision. BBC reports the meeting was inconclusive. There was no full agreement among Trump's top advisors on attacking Iran's nuclear facilities. The first likely target would be uranium enrichment sites in the city of Rue. On the other hand, Iran's state TV aired a bizarre and terrifying commercial showing a small nuclear weapon being wiped clean by a hand, suggesting Iran is sending a message that it already possesses nuclear weapons. China has also stepped forward. The British newspaper Telegraph reported that 3 large weapon-loaded Chinese aircraft have arrived in Iran via Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. This has bolstered Iran's confidence. Instead of fear, Iran is showing increasing assertiveness. Meanwhile, Trump keeps claiming that Iran is begging for a ceasefire. But if that were true, there would be some official signs. You heard Khamenei's recent statement. Did he sound like someone desperate for a ceasefire? Not at all. Trump also claimed complete control over Iranian airspace, but Iran quickly shot down an Israeli drone and released footage of it. Iran announced it would soon present the wreckage of the downed Israeli F-35 and its pilot to the media. All of this is part of a psychological war. Iran has effectively neutralized all its enemies in the air. In the context of the Iran-Israel war, the biggest news in Pakistan, being discussed across the country, is the meeting between Field Marshal Asim Munir and President Trump. By the time you hear this, the meeting will have happened or will be happening. Trump had invited Field Marshal Munir for dinner. No journalists were allowed in, so full details might not come out, or may emerge in different versions. But given Trump's personality, it is expected that he will publicly disclose the key discussion points. In Pakistan, many theories are circulating about this meeting. Some fear that Trump will ask Pakistan to support America against Iran, and this support could take many forms. Some believe that since America is in trouble, Munir should negotiate maximum benefits for Pakistan, including financial aid or solid guarantees on resolving the Kashmir issue. Others, however, believe Trump tends to issue commands rather than requests, and Pakistan might fully fall into America's lap as a result. 2 days ago, reports emerged that the US told Pakistan's government, "No more nonsense, we won't listen to your statements anymore." Since then, there has been silence from Pakistan's government or ministers regarding Israel. Those fearing the worst believe today's meeting could lead to Pakistan becoming completely subservient to the US. And even if Trump makes promises today, he is notorious for forgetting them later. America has done this many times before. PTI supporters fear Trump will demand Pakistan's loyalty, and in return, the current regime will be given a free hand to do whatever it wants with Imran Khan. There are concerns that Khan's chances of release will be pushed further away. These are the analyses being made in drawing rooms across the country. Here's my view. There's no question of Pakistan fully opposing Iran or fully siding with the US. If anyone believes Pakistan's interests will be sold out, I completely disagree. I also don't believe that any decision regarding Imran Khan, especially one endorsed by the US to imprison him indefinitely, will be made in this meeting. Such a move doesn't suit American or Trump's interests either. Most importantly, such a move would be counterproductive. If Pakistan decides to once again fall into America's lap, will the rest of the world just watch? Pakistan may risk upsetting Iran, but how will it upset China, which helped Pakistan humble India just weeks ago? And what about Saudi Arabia and Turkey? How will Pakistan operate without such allies? How can major decisions be made this way? That's why, in my view, those who think today's meeting will push Pakistan into complete American subservience, I do not agree with them. And those hoping that after today's meeting, Imran Khan will be finished, they are just trying to turn their wishes into news. Let them continue and be happy. Now, viewers, today in the constitutional benches of the Supreme Court, 2 important cases were also heard. In the judge's seniority case, Punjab's Advocate General Amjad Pervez presented arguments. He was brought in as the last resort, the final arrow in the quiver. But today, he failed to impress the court in the slightest. I spoke to 2 or 3 people present in court, and they unanimously said his arguments were extremely weak. Justice Naeem Akhtar Afghan asked him why, in terms of seniority, he selected the 14th ranked judge in Lahore High Court for transfer, were those ranked higher not competent? The Advocate General was visibly flustered and could only say those 14 judges weren't in front of him at the moment. To this, Justice Afghan responded, but those judges are in front of us. Now, Imran Khan's lawyer has started presenting his arguments, and it's likely these will conclude tomorrow, after which a verdict might also come. In the case regarding reserved seats for PTI, Barrister Salman Akram Raja started his arguments today, and they were excellent, I'll say again, worthy of being heard, written down and noted by students of law. As soon as he began, the bench head, Justice Zamanuddin, began interrupting him. Salman Akram Raja, slightly annoyed, said, "At least let me speak and complete my point." He argued that the Election Commission had blocked all their options, leaving them no choice but to join the Sunni Ittihad Council. If even 6 of their members had been accepted as PTI by the Commission, all issues would have been resolved, but 86 of their members were declared independent. He told the court that they came to the Supreme Court twice before February 8 over the bat symbol issue, but the doors were shut on them. At one point, Salman Akram Raja made a statement that clearly put the constitutional bench's judges in a tough spot. He said that 10 judges of the Supreme Court acknowledged the ground realities and gave PTI over 80 reserved seats. Now an 11-judge review bench is attempting to overturn those realities and that decision. To this, Justice Jamal Mandokale said, "Raja Sahib, you didn't do anything to claim your rights." Salman Akram Raja responded by quoting a Persian couplet meaning, "First you tied me up, then threw me in the river, and then told me not to complain about getting wet. The judge retorted, "Please provide arguments, don't turn the courtroom into a poetry recital." These were truly shocking remarks from the judge. Normally, we see that even in the most serious of cases in both High Court and Supreme Court, there is a place for literary flavour. Arguments often include humour and poetry. When the court's mood is genuinely geared toward justice, such expressions are welcomed. But when minds are already made up, even a poetic line gets shut down. If someone jokes, the response becomes, "Don't turn this into a theatre." And if someone recites poetry, it's, "Don't turn this into a poetry event." The real point that should be said is, "Sir, don't turn the court into a graveyard by murdering justice." Anyway, during today's hearing, it was quite clear that no matter what arguments the lawyers present, the judges have already made up their minds and will decide accordingly. It appears the entire hearing is merely a formality. In the Supreme Court's review case, the core ruling is about to be overturned. And most of the judges who issued the original ruling are not even present on the current bench to defend it. Advocate Faisal Siddiqui rightly said, and said beautifully, that the ruling involving the bat symbol dug the grave of democracy in this country. And for the past 2 years we've been throwing dirt onto that grave. He added that history has already been written about Qazi Faiz Isa. He has destroyed and lost everything. After hearing today's proceedings, Justice Mansour Ali Shah reportedly said, "It is the responsibility of judges to hold their peers accountable if they surrender before power at the cost of constitutional principles." But who will listen to him? The dedication of the 11 judges on this constitutional bench can be gauged from the fact that, although court vacations have begun, they didn't go on break, because this reserved seats case is the government's case. On the other hand, in Imran Khan's case, a judge conveniently took leave on June 11 so that the hearing would not proceed. But the judges in this case skipped their vacations so that justice for the government would not be delayed even a few days. As I said before, when a case needs to be resolved quickly, judges are known to sit through it even without bathroom breaks. But for PTI-related cases, some judges apply for leave even for a sneeze. Anyway, Nawaz Sharif recently said, "There's no difference between me and Shahbaz Sharif. Whoever becomes Prime Minister doesn't matter. We are one." This reminded me how Nawaz Sharif used to chant the slogan, "Respect the vote." He used to speak passionately about democracy. But when he lost by thousands of votes to a common female worker like Dr. Yasmin Rashid, he chose to gain power through the establishment, made his brother PM, and lined up his daughter for CM. Nawaz Sharif never truly believed in democracy. Whether people accept it or not, it was all a performance. If he were truly democratic, he wouldn't be doing what he is doing now. Yet, he managed to maintain some kind of illusion. Now, according to Ansar Abbasi, a well-known journalist close to Nawaz Sharif, Nawaz has no objection to military leadership playing a role in national affairs. He is fully satisfied with the hybrid regime. But what kind of hybrid is this? Hybrid means a mix of both sides. Here, only one side exists. This is not 50-50, everyone knows it. In truth, by saying this, Ansar Abbasi has exposed Nawaz Sharif's fake democratic posturing. He's thrown dust on Nawaz's claims of democratic values. Nawaz Sharif's "Respect the Vote" slogan now stands blackened. He has sold out his party cheaply. When he exits power again, he'll be burying his political blunders for years. He'll become such a political outcast that no one will want to go near him. Now, viewers, the Punjab budget for the new fiscal year shows that austerity exists only in empty claims, and very absurd ones at that. Punjab, where millions of children are out of school, has a government that leads in extravagant spending. In the budget, expenses for the Chief Minister and Governor's houses have increased drastically. The Governor House budget increased from 16.1 million to 153.7 million. The CM office budget increased by 230 million to reach 1.46 billion. The Minister's office budgets increased from 350 million to over 1.07 billion. According to budget documents, 560 million in extra spending was made for the CM's office last year. While the original allocation was 1.23 billion, the final expenditure reached 1.79 billion. The Punjab government has also purchased 20,083 vehicles, reportedly costing nearly £1 billion rupees. To afford this, taxes were slapped on lentils, cooking oil, milk packets, and even bottled water. Here's another masterpiece of Punjab's governance. According to Chaudhry Fawad, the total annual waste management budget was 13 billion. But during the 3 days of Eid, 30 billion was spent just to dispose of animal waste. The entire year's waste management budget was 13 billion. yet they spent more than double that in just 3 days. Perhaps even the collective cost of sacrifices made across Lahore during Eid didn't reach 30 billion. Such are the wonders being carried out by these rejected people imposed on the public. It's as absurd as declaring war on mosquitoes with cannons or washing roads with rosewater. That wraps up our translation of Junaid Saleem's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.